Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this look right here, which is my kind of bright pink eye look that is great to transition us into spring. This is the same look that I wore in my previous video, which I'll link up here for you in case you missed it, and I really like how this came out. I used basically all the same products. I added a few extra and kind of just changed it up based on what I've been loving lately. And I also have a sneak peek of a few products that are going to be in my high-end haul, which is going to be coming to you guys on Thursday. So be sure to check that out. We're just gonna get started. If you wanna see how I got this makeup look, please keep watching. First thing I'm going to do is prime my skin with the YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer. This is the beautiful gold one. So I just take one pump and put this all over the face. Then I'm going to go straight in with foundation, and today I'm going to be using my new Chanel Perfection Lumiere Velvet Foundation, and I have the shade 20 Beige, and I was inspired to get this after I did my trying luxury samples video, and I tried a sample of the Chanel Vitalumia Aqua, which I really liked that sample, but I kind of had always wanted to try this version of the foundation instead, so I decided to take the plunge because I really liked the Vitalumia Aqua, and I think that that one would be really beautiful if you want like less coverage and have drier skin, but I've really been enjoying this Perfection Lumiere Velvet. The foundation is blended in, and now I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer, and this is the shade 1C. And the reason I'm doing my foundation first today is because I wanted to use this concealer as my eye primer as well, and it worked out okay the other day when I tried this, so gonna do it again. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my damp beauty blender once again. To set the concealer, I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just going to apply this with the damp beauty blender like so, and also set the eyelids as well because my eyelids are super greasy and I need to set this right away or it gets creasy. And before I set the rest of the face, I'm going to add in a step that I didn't do when I did this makeup look the other day, but I've really been liking lately, and this is the Wet n Wild Megaglo Makeup Stick Contour, and this is the shade 804A. And I have really started liking this. I wasn't so sure about it when I first got it, and it's kind of difficult to blend, but you kind of can't expect too much from a drugstore contour, I feel like there's not very many super good ones. So I'm going to take this Real Techniques Duo Fiber face brush to blend it in, and you really have to work it into the skin, and it is kind of like a dark scary color, but don't be alarmed. If you just keep working it, it really ends up melting into the skin and looking really good. And I find that this has lasted really well when I've done this. It lasted all day when I did it the other day. Now that the contour is all blended out, I'm going to set the rest of my face with my new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder, and I have the shade 1 Fair, which is their lightest shade, and I'm going to take this on my Real Techniques multitask brush because I like this powder with a slightly denser brush. I usually use a larger, fluffier brush to set my whole face, but this one's such a fine and not very pigmented powder that I like a denser brush to really pack it on. And now for bronzer, to go ahead and set that cream contour we did, I'm going to use my Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade 102 Tantric, and this is the super huge, beautiful Marc Jacobs bronzer, and I'm taking this on my MAC 168 brush, which is technically a blush brush, but I really like this because it's a natural hair brush. It kind of applies the product a little less pigmented, and I usually use the Real Techniques Duo Fiber face brush because that also really diffuses the powder on nicely, but I've been wanting to pack on just a little bit more color lately, and this packs it on a little bit more densely but still not as intensely as a regular synthetic brush. And then I'm also going to take my NARS Ita brush and pick up the same bronzer just to sculpt the sides of the nose and kind of add a little bit of warmth to the center of the face so that everything's balanced out. And now for blush, since we're going to be doing kind of a brighter eye look than I typically do, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blush in the shade First Love, because this is really kind of a nudie brownie kind of undertoned blush. And this is really pigmented, but I just kind of dust on a little bit because this warms up the cheeks just a little bit more and it gives a little something more than just a bronzer, but isn't a super pink or rosy or purpley shade. It's just kind of neutral, and I think it complements the whole look in the end really well. And for highlight, I have my Marc Jacobs. This is their Spotlight Glow Stick, or I guess it's the Glow Stick in the shade Spotlight, and it's their little cream highlighter that looks like a little deodorant, and I'd like to take mine on my beauty blender just because I like everything with my beauty blender. So I kind of pick up some product on there and then stipple it onto the cheeks. And if you're going for a more subtle look, you can take like way more less of this, or you can pack this on really intensely. And then I'm also going to set this with a powder highlight. And don't be scared to put this on top of your powders, just press it into the skin, don't rub it. And I find that it sits on top very nicely. That's the other reason I like to apply it with this, because with the stick you kind of have to rub and it can cause your makeup underneath to move around, but this way you can kind of just stipple it on right on top and nothing gets harmed. So that highlight is super beautiful just on its own. It's super nice and subtle, but to set it, I'm just going to take a highlighter that's a similar tone. This is the wrong one. And this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed in Moonstone, which is their super light white shade, which is similar to that Marc Jacobs. And I'm just going to take this on my Sigma Strobing fan brush. And I just pick up a little bit and then dust it on the tops of my cheeks like so. And this just kind of adds a little bit more intensity to the highlight, and I find just packs it on and makes it last a lot longer, because for me a highlight always kind of disappears. But if you're setting a cream with a powder, it has a little bit better chance to last longer throughout the day. And then really quickly, I'm just going to fill in my brows, and today I'm using my Anastasia Brow Wiz in Taupe, so I'm just going to quickly fill them in. Brows are filled in, and I got a little carried away. I also set them off camera with this new Hourglass Arch Brow Volumizing Fiber Gel, and I got the shade Soft Brunette because this was the like darkest cool tone that wasn't like black shade that they had. And the blonde one was just too warm and too light for my darker brows. So I tried this out, and I actually, first impressions, love this. So hopefully this keeps working well. And the packaging is just like really heavy and like weighty feeling. So far I like that a lot. Okay, and now to move on to the most exciting part of the look, and that is eyeshadow. So I'm going to use several single eyeshadows that I have. 2 are from Makeup Geek and 1 is from MAC, but you can find similar shades in like a ton of different palettes and at the drugstore and whatnot. So the first one I'm going to take is this one, which is Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek. And I'm going to take my large Sigma E40, and I'm just going to pick this up and dust it basically all over to kind of set that concealer and also kind of start out the base shade. I'm really concentrating this on the crease area so that this is where the crease can look really diffused out with this color as the base. Okay, so base is on, and then I'm going to take another Makeup Geek shade, and this one is Crème Brule, which is kind of a warm toned like medium brown, I would say. This is an like amazing crease color if you want a warm brown for the crease, which is the look I'm going for today. So I'm just going to take that and concentrate this once again only on the crease, and these just blend really beautifully. I love these Makeup Geek shadows. I've had them forever. I just kind of forget to use them because they're in this big palette that I don't always pull out, but I really like them. And then for the showstopper eyeshadow is this MAC shade in Cranberry, and it looks really dark and intense, and you could definitely build it up to make it like a super dark purpley wintry look. But I wore this the other day, and I'm just applying this with a super old Bare Essentials, that's how old this is. The brand is still called Bare Essentials dense shader brush, so any like dense like eyeshadow brush you have is fine. But I just picked up a little bit and started pressing it onto the lid, and it doesn't really get super dark right away. It kind of is pinky, and that's the vibe that I'm going for today. This is kind of my spring transitioning, getting excited for colors look. So I just take a little bit and kind of pack it on all over the lid. And I think this shade looks absolutely beautiful on any shade of eye, especially blue and green eyes, but I think this would also be really amazing on brown eyes. So I'm just going back over with my crease brush here just to kind of diffuse out and make sure that there's no harsh line where this starts. And as you can tell, it's just kind of a light wash of color. I'm not really packing it on too intensely, so that's on purpose so that it's kind of like a lighter, more springy look, nothing fancy. To finish off the eyes, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara, which has been my go-to everyday mascara lately. I'm just going to pack a bunch of this on, so this is going to take me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. The only thing left is lips, and I'm going to be applying 2 products today that are my current go-to favorites. The first one is this Too Faced lipstick in the shade Sunday Funday. It's from their little like peach collection. It has the peaches embossed on the sides. So I'm going to apply this first. And this, I think, is what they called one of their moisture matte formulas. So it's a very matte finish, but I'm going to take the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie on top of it. And both of these are just very like nudie shades, which I think plays really well with this kind of bright pinky eye look. And this gloss and this lipstick are basically the perfect match for each other. And that's it for this pinky eye look. That's a great transition look into spring. I think keeping the cheek and the lip really neutral helps kind of make it still appropriate for a little bit colder weather, but the bright pink eye just kind of makes it a little bit more exciting. I would actually wear this look all year round, and I really like it. It's just a subtle wash of color, but it's a little something like fun and different, and just a different spin on my everyday makeup look. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial. As always, all the products that I mentioned will be listed in the description box down below. I also upload 2 days a week on Monday and Thursday, so please subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my next video, and thank you so much for watching.